this chapter, an epitome of courage, guys. In this chapter, हा चॅप्टर कोणाबद्दल आहे? हा चॅप्टर अशा एका माणसाबद्दल आहे की ज्या माणसानं not just in any field but in a hugely difficult subject, and a subject like science, okay, I'll talk from here, you just pay attention there, okay. In a subject like physics, or in a subject like physics and chemistry, ज्या सब्जेक्ट मध्ये एका एक्स्ट्रीम लेवलचा सायंटिफिक लॉज असतात, त्या सब्जेक्ट मध्ये एका एक्स्ट्रीम लेवलला पीपल हॅव एक्स्ट्रीम लेवल्स ऑफ थिअरीज इन दॅट, असा एक सब्जेक्ट मध्ये ह्या माणसानं फिजिकली चॅलेंज असणं. फिजिकली चॅलेंज म्हणजे ही वॉज एक्स्ट्रीमली फिजिकली चॅलेंज, म्हणजे त्याच्या नर्व्ह ब्रेकिंग सिस्टम झाले होते. म्हणजे काय झालं, त्याच्या नर्व्स जे असतात बॉडी मधल्या, युअर आर्टरीज, युअर वेन्स, एव्हरीथिंग, ह्या सगळ्या दबत चालल्या होत्या. आणि बिकॉज दोज वर गेटिंग कॉम्प्रेस्ड, दबन जाणे म्हणजे कॉम्प्रेस्ड होत चालल्या होत्या, त्याच्या बॉडी मधले मसल्स आणि बोन्स हे त्याला सपोर्ट करत नव्हते, बिकॉज ऑफ विच ही हॅड बिकम पॅरालायटिक. ओके, now epitome of courage, underline the word epitome. The meaning of epitome is a symbol. The meaning of epitome is a symbol of courage. Okay, पुढे. We often tend to hide behind our weaknesses, disabilities, handicaps, or moan over them our whole life. Dr. Stephen Hawking, one of the greatest scientists of this century, did not do so. In spite of suffering from a very rare and dreaded disease, Dr. Hawking continued his research undaunted. Undaunted is without any stoppage. कुठल्याही गोष्टीला न थांबता he continued his research. His exemplary courage should inspire us to do our best even under trying circumstances. He passed away on March 14, 2018. Under trying circumstances, underline कर ही एक phrase आहे. Under trying circumstances म्हणजे under trying circumstances, okay, it's a phrase which means under difficult circumstances. Okay, difficult circumstances. Next one. Exactly 300 years after the death of the great scientist Galileo, Dr. Stephen Hawking was born in Oxford, London, on the 8th day of January 1942. Little did his parents know that one day that a little boy would be hailed as one of the greatest scientists of this century. Hailed म्हणजे respected. Hailed is respected. As one of the greatest scientists of this century. Neither could anybody imagine that his mind would soar up into space and light. More importantly, none could predict that he would be the very epitome of courage. Again, epitome म्हणजे he would be the symbol of courage. Courage म्हणजे bravery. साधी गोष्ट आहे. जर एखादा मुलगा किंवा एखादा माणूस इतक्या सगळ्या प्रॉब्लेम्स मधनं येऊन सुद्धा ज्या वेळेला त्याला डॉक्टर सांगतात ऍट द एज ऑफ 19, 19व्या वर्षी सांगितलं की हा काहीच महिने टिकणार आहे, काहीच महिने राहील, आणि तो पुढे 70 वर्ष जगतो टू क्रिएट हिज ओन थिअरीज. एपिटोम ऑफ करेज. खरंच ब्रेवरी. Courage is a wonderful thing. It is that quality which makes people not lose heart when faced with a great calamity. It would not be an exaggeration to say that Dr. Stephen Hawking is a living legend of cosmology and is the very personification of courage and cosmology. म्हणजे underline कर आणि he study of astronomy and universe. Cosmology is a study of astronomy and universe. Study of astronomy and universe. ठीक है श्रुति, पुढे. Except his mind, whose whole body is bound to a wheelchair, thanks to a cruel quirk of fate. Cruel quirk of fate म्हणजे ज्यामुळे नशिबात, ते दिले त्यांनी मिनिंग बघ, ज्याला नशिबात एखादी अनवॉन्टेड गोष्ट होते, त्याच्यामध्ये तुझी ना माझी कोणाची काही चूक नसते, बट इट हॅपन, त्याला नशीबच म्हणायचं. तुझा ऍक्सिडेंट झाला मायनर, नशीबच म्हणत, तू गेली होती का ऍक्सिडेंट करायला? नाही, बट दॅट हॅपन. दॅट इज कॉल्ड एज quirk of fate. Yet he is one of the greatest scientists of this century. An average child, Stephen grew up to be a normal teenager, full of mischief and lots of love for music and mathematics. Even though his father wanted him to study medicine, he was bent on studying mathematics. The University of Oxford at that time did not have a course in mathematics, so he opted to study physics instead. Okay. At the age of 17, Stephen started noticing that he was becoming increasingly clumsy. Clumsy म्हणजे wayward. त्याला काही stabilities नव्हती. He was becoming absolutely, आपण म्हणतो ना चालता चालता पडणे, बॉडीला वेड्या वागते काहीतरी मुवमेंट्स होणे. आपण म्हणतो सपोज अंगामध्ये ताकद नसेल. If the bones don't have power, if the muscles don't have strength, then your body starts crippling. Crippling म्हणजे वेडे वाकडे काहीतरी हालचाल करते. त्याला आपण म्हणतो clumsy. Write down over there. Clumsy is crippling. Crippling. Correct. This perplexed him and he went to see his family doctor, who diagnosed him as suffering from an extremely rare disease, ALS or LOU, Greg's disease that affects the nervous system and eventually weakens all the muscles of the body. Clear? Perplexed म्हणजे disturbed. Write down. Perplexed म्हणजे he was completely disturbed. Pude. Stephen says that even as a child, his muscle coordination was nothing to write home about. Underline, was nothing to write home about. Phrase आहे nothing to write home about. It's a phrase. याचा अर्थ काय होतो श्रुती? याचा अर्थ होतो फार काही त्याच्यामध्ये भारी गोष्टी होत्या असं नाही. म्हणजे लहानपणापासूनच स्टीफन हॉकिंगचा अनफॉर्च्युनेटली प्रॉब्लेम वॉज ही वॉज नॉट एबल टू हॅव अ coordination of his hands, have the coordination of his body and everything, because त्याला मे बी बाय बर्थच थोडेफार हे कुठेतरी प्रॉब्लेम्स असतील. He recollects that his handwriting would send his teachers into a fit of a frenzy. Fit of a frenzy म्हणजे in great annoyance. राग यायचा अक्षर बघून. Nor was he inclined towards sports. Nevertheless, this disease came as a bolt from the blue. This disease came as a bolt from the blue. Bolt from the blue म्हणजे extreme shock. How much time he had left on this planet was very uncertain. The prognosis was bad and the doctors said that they could not do much. Prognosis म्हणजे एखाद्या बाबतीत आपण प्रेडिक्शन करतो, एखाद्या बाबतीतला आपण फ्युचर प्रेडिक्ट करतो, त्याला आपण प्रोग्नोसिस म्हणतो. Undaunted, Stephen decided to continue his research and even got engaged to a Jane biology. Hawking says that, ironic as it may sound, it is at this dismal stage he began enjoying life the most. This, he says, was because he started living life for the moment and continued his doctoral research work with renewed vigor. म्हणजे रिन्यूड विगर म्हणजे तिकडे रिन्यूड विगरचं मीनिंग आहे विथ रिफ्रेश्ड एनर्जीज. रिन्यूड विगर्स म्हणजे रिफ्रेश्ड एनर्जीज. In the meanwhile, the disease worked its way into Stephen's body and left him disabled. म्हणजे काय झालं? आता जेव्हा डॉक्टर्सने पण सांगितलं याचं काही होणार नाही, जास्त आम्ही काही करू शकत नाही, तर म्हणलं ठीक आहे, एवढंच आहे ना, लेट मी सी, मी पॉझिटिव्ह तर राहतो, बघू काय होतंय काय. त्यामध्ये त्याचं लग्न पण झालं. सो एकंदरीत या सगळ्या गोष्टींमधून ही फेल्ट पॉझिटिव्ह आणि तो म्हणला चला आय एम गोइंग टू लिव्ह माय लाईफ विथ सेम एनर्जी. एक रिफ्रेशमेंट आली माझ्यामध्ये, आय लिव्ह माय लाईफ अगेन हॅपी. पण प्रॉब्लेम असा झाला की हा जो डिसीज त्याला झाला होता त्याच्या बॉडीमध्ये आणखीन आणि आणखीन पसरत गेला आणि दॅट लेफ्ट हिम डिसेबल्ड. डिसेबल्ड म्हणजे कुठलीही गोष्ट स्वतः न करता येणं इज कॉल्ड एज बीइंग डिसेबल्ड. He began studying the concept of black holes to get his PhD. By this time he was confined to a wheelchair. Confined म्हणजे एका जागी तो चिकटून बसला होता बिचारा. And was rapidly losing control of his hands and speech. The study of black holes sparked his imagination with bright ideas. He made many epoch-making statements that shook established theories. Scientists believe that the universe began with a Big Bang. To explain this concept better, Stephen invented what is known as Lie algebra. Though confined to a wheelchair with no control over his body, save a finger, and with a computer to help him express his thoughts, Dr. Hawking is an authority on profound subjects of science. Numerous honorary doctorates and awards have been bestowed on him. Bestowed म्हणजे त्याच्यावरती गिफ्ट केले गेलेले आहेत. Awards have been given to him for his good work. Write down. Bestowed on him म्हणजे त्यांनी granted or reward. एखाद्या गोष्टीचं एखाद्याला गिफ्ट देणं, that's called as bestowed or reward. He is a fellow of the Royal Society and a member of the US National Academy of Science. In spite of being considered Einstein's equal in intelligence, Dr. Hawking is a very humble man. A simple, down-to-earth man. He has authored many books dealing with his awesome ideas, keeping a layman in mind. Down-to-earth man म्हणजे सिंपल, सोबर, त्याला जास्त कुठल्याही गोष्टीचा ॲटिट्यूड नाहीये, माज नाहीये, असा एक शांत माणूस इज व्हॉट डॉक्टर स्टीफन हॉकिंग. पुढे. His writing is full of wit and humor. His style is so lucid that non-scientists can also understand him. His book, A Brief History of Time, is one of the best-selling books of all of our times. On being asked how he feels about having the dreadful ALS, Dr. Hawking says the quintessence of optimism and hope. Quintessence म्हणजे example, epitome, symbol, write down. Quintessence म्हणजे example, symbol or ज्याला आपण म्हणू शकतो is a symbol of love or war असं म्हणतो ना आपण. तसं असतो quintessence म्हणजे symbol. दुसरा मीनिंग त्याचा आहे एपिटोम, बरोबर, कारण आपण चॅप्टर मध्येच केलं एपिटोम ऑफ करेज म्हणजे सिम्बल ऑफ करेज. अँड ऑप्टिमिझम, ऑप्टिमिझम म्हणजे टू बी व्हेरी व्हेरी पॉझिटिव्ह अबाउट समथिंग, त्याला आपण म्हणतो ऑप्टिमिझम. नॉट व्हेरी डिफरंट फ्रॉम द रेस्ट, आय ट्राय अँड लीड ॲज नॉर्मल अ लाईफ एज पॉसिबल अँड नॉट थिंक अबाउट माय कंडिशन और रिग्रेट द थिंग्स इट प्रिव्हेंट्स मी फ्रॉम डुईंग विच आर नॉट मेनी. Dr. Hawking firmly believes that in the next millennium म्हणजे एक सदी, 100 वर्षांचं आयुष्य, 100 वर्ष किंवा आपण 1000 वर्षांमध्ये science will discover the core secrets of universe, its origin, its history, and maybe even predict its ultimate demise. म्हणजे माणूस कधी जन्माला येणार आहे, कधी मरणार आहे, हे पण सायन्स त्याच्याला सांगू शकतो. जसं आता परवाच मी पेपर मध्ये वाचलं, BBC ब्रॉडकास्टिंग चॅनल ऑफ लंडन, एक मोठं चॅनल आहे, तो स्टडी करतोय की 1600 वर्षांपूर्वी एक माणूस गेला, 1600 वर्षांपूर्वी एक माणूस गेलाय, मग त्याचा आता चेहरा कसा असेल हे त्याच्या तो स्केलेटन वरनं अभ्यास करतायत ते लोक. हे सायन्सच आहे, ठीक आहे. Like Dr. Hawking, there are many people who display exemplary courage in their lives. Let us salute all those brave people who, in spite of being disabled, strive to do their best. Okay, underline, strive to do their best म्हणजे work for the best, work for the good life, or work to get the best results. Work for the good life or work to get the best results. ठीक है श्रुति? Okay. Now tick mark activity question number 1, question number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 and 6 tick mark कर. 5 and 6 are very important for your examination point of view. Okay. Language study, first one, chain of adjectives. Second A, second B. ठीक है, activities है, that's